hats. I might have been happier with less of a wonderful introduction. In Waiting for Godot, Samuel Beckett wrote these cheerful words. They give birth astride of a grave, the light gleams an instant, then it's night once more. At some point in there, some instant between birth and night, some of us find the blank canvas. At first, of course, we have no idea that there even is one, much less that it's our job, our duty, our privilege to fill it in, to make it beautiful, to paint the pictures of our lives as they develop. Some never actually touch a brush to the surface, allowing the blank canvas to be filled in by forces around them, but apart from them. Others leave it to slowly fester and rot and turn to dust in step with their own unremarkable return to dust. Some of us only use one color, become so content with it that we eventually become prisoners of our own comfort. Others use one or two or more, and some, the brave or crazy or gluttonous of us, use all the colors we can find. Les fauves de la vie, they're called, shining brightly and flickering out quickly, or not. Some last seemingly forever, as if their colorful full lives were somehow a talisman protecting them from oblivion, as if the act of creation could somehow negate its opposite number. The grim reaper held at bay a little while longer while he reads the engaging wall text next to the picture they made of their time on this mortal coil, their inspiring time, leading by example gluttons, intrepid explorers, madmen, or madwomen. This is the story about one of those people, who I once knew, who lived such a full life she should have been gifted extra blank canvases, the way that fortunate world travelers or the professionally peripatetic have to get extra blank pages stapled into their passports so they can continue their antics and adventures in industry. This is a story about one of those people. This is the story of Teeny Tiny Tammy. Teeny Tiny Tammy was my best friend all through high school. She was amazing, always making something remarkable in the kitchen or in shop class or doing something mind-boggling in the sports field. There was not a single area of endeavor at which she did not excel. Foremost amongst them was filling her days with joy. Example, we all had the same classes, every class. And one day in algebra, Ross Palmer was chewing gum, and Mr. Miller stopped the class and asked him if Ross had enough gum for everybody. He did not, of course. And so, as he always did, Mr. Miller picked up the little gray metal garbage can filled with pop quizzes and chalk dust and brought it over for Ross to drop his gum into. The next day, Teeny Tiny Tammy got caught chewing gum. Mr. Miller stopped class right in the middle of explaining the quadratic formula or some such other crucial learning to ask if she'd brought in enough gum for everyone. And in true Teeny Tiny Tammy style, she said yes. She pulled out a little brown paper bag full of individual pieces of bazooka bubblegum and was promptly instructed to pass them out to the entire class. Even Mr. Miller seemed to enjoy it. Everyone always thought we were boyfriend, girlfriend, but we never even considered it. We were way too much like brother and sister for any of those particular kinds of shenanigans. Anyway, right after we graduated in 1978, Teeny Tiny Tammy took off. We both hated our hometown, and she left as soon as she had that high school diploma in her back pocket. No college, no job, no prospects. She just skedaddled right on out of town. Backpack full of crazy dreams and those cool red Puma sneakers she always wore. I was envious and jealous and shamed all at once by my own lame inertia. This was the age before the internet and Facebook and cell phones and whatnot. And so, as it happened, when she left town, she just disappeared. And my heart ached horribly. I wondered about her over the years, and I wondered always if maybe I did something wrong or said something stupid to drive her away. I would call her old house once in a while and ask her parents if they'd heard from her, but they never had. One day I called and the phone had been disconnected. Later on I heard from their neighbors that they'd moved south somewhere, taking with them all of my hopes of ever seeing Teeny Tiny Tammy again. In retrospect, I wonder if maybe that's why I stayed in a nowhere job at Nowhere, Keokuk, Iowa, all those years. because I didn't want to miss my friend if she came back. I missed her enough already. Now, one day shy of my 40th birthday, my mother called me. I assumed she was calling me to wish me an happy early birthday. But no, a letter had come to the old house, and the new owners had brought it to her. It was for me, from Tammy. I still get teary-eyed just remembering the tornado of emotions that filled my being when Mommy told me this. She said she'd bring it to me the next day along with my traditional coconut birthday cake, but I couldn't wait, so I begged to leave work early, and I rushed right over to Mom's condo. The envelope was in one of those baggies that the post office puts damaged mail in. My heart sank when I saw it, but the letter inside seemed unharmed. I tore it open. I still recognized her handwriting. Tammy didn't say too much in it, just that she thought of me nearly every minute of every day, and she was really sorry she hadn't written or called sooner. I didn't even know I was crying until a tear landed on the baby blue writing paper. The return address was Carson City, Nevada. I found her building right away when I arrived at our 4-story apartment complex in a decent senior part of town. But I had no idea which apartment was hers, so I stood by the mailboxes with the 1978 Keokuk High School yearbook I brought. I kind of held it open in front of me whenever I heard footsteps approaching, so as to not appear too threatening, maybe to pique interest instead of fear. A couple of people gave blank stares or half smiles. If they knew her, they didn't let on. I guess I wouldn't have talked to me either. Snitches get stitches, as they say. And then I heard her footsteps. Coming. I knew it was her right away. It's funny the way people have different sort of gaits, different ways of walking. But I knew it was her, and I froze, standing there like a freaking freak with that yearbook opened up to her senior photo. Her standing in the sun, leaning up against the tree, in her cap and gown. I just knew it was her, and she walked around the corner, and I was right. I was right about everything. I was right about her. I was right to have driven 24 hours to get there. I was right that it would be wonderful to see her again. I was right that I would burst into tears. I was right that she would smack me upside the head in that strange token of love and appreciation that had been the calling card of our youthful friendship. While we sat on the floor of her apartment, talked for 100 hours. She shared endless highlights of her awe-inspiring life, the travels, the studies, the loves lost and found, the lives saved, and the fortunes made and lost again. I glowed, and I caught some naps, and every time I woke up, she seemed to be watching over me and glowing herself. We'd known each other only for 4 short years and had not known each other for over 20, but it didn't matter. We were home again, and it felt so good to be there. By and by, though, I had to get back to Iowa. I didn't want to, but I had to. And now somehow I could. Tammy and I had lived those 20 missing years together in a few days, and now I could get back to my life, maybe even leave Keokuk someday, maybe even go east. On my way out, she ran to the kitchen, came back, and gave me a gift. It was a bizarre-looking object of indeterminate functionality. I wondered if it was a sordid souvenir from one of her many previous lives, but she said no. She had picked it up right after high school at a yard sale in a free box. She'd taken it because it reminded her of an octopus, her favorite animal. She said it had been a good luck charm for her, bringing her to so many new people and places and adventures, and always somehow seeing her through to the lessons on the other side. She said I should hold on to it now until my new life began, and then give it away to another kind soul, someone who needed a safety net or a kick in the pants. We laughed, I laughed, and that's the last time I saw teeny tiny Tammy. Maybe she'll come visit me in New York City someday, before another 20 years goes by, and come see what I've finally done with my blank canvas.